Hi, this is Colette from Soul Life Loving. Today I thought we'd talk about when you've gone through a lot of when you're going through deep healing, but you're also going into places where you're downloading and you're uploading and you're upgrading in spirit, and major things are happening and you're learning how to change your own instinctual reactions to things, so that your baseline that you're coming from is different. And by different, how can I explain that better than my fumbling English? Your natural response to things are based on your past and your upbringing and how people were. And so you react when things happen. You react in that pattern. And what I'm trying to do for me is break that pattern and change it. And it's very exhausting because you have to be on it all the time. You know, the negative reaction that happens when something happens and you have to say no and you need to change it. You need to shove in there what made you happy. Something that's made you happy. It can be anything, as long as it's something that made you smile, or you enjoyed, or you thought, yeah, that's awesome. And it can be linked to anything or anybody. Doesn't matter what it is, you just grab it and stick it in there. So you're like, no, because we're not doing that anymore. And this, see, because then you're imprinting on your foundation. That I can think of happy things. I don't have to emotionally follow this negative thinking. And it is exhausting. It is exhausting because you don't realise, I didn't realise how negative my backstory, or my backstory has been appalling. And the effect, the knock-on effect, is that I respond defensively, and I struggle sometimes to speak up, and then when I do speak up I shout, or I'm emotionally angry because they've decided to choose a negative aspect that I wasn't even meaning and I didn't even do, or it's somebody else has done it, or somebody else has said it, or they've interpreted it wrong, and they've deliberately interpreted it wrong. So I'm doubly angry, and I'm really incensed, and I'm really upset, and quite often I'll burst into tears, and I'm really, the knock on, the ripples of upsettedness go on for days and days and days, and reappear at moments when I'm struggling or when I'm trying really hard not to do that, and my shadow side keeps chucking them at me. Now I get on quite well now with my shadow side, and I talk to her. She's allowed to have a voice, but I'm also aware that, you know, we're all surrounded by dark energies, and they're just looking for a way in. And part of strengthening the boundaries is to change the way that your foundation reacts. And until I get this, it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't have to. The goal is not to never have a negative thought. The goal is not to allow that negative thought to hook onto an emotion, or to bring up something from the past that can link onto something else. The idea is to cut that off and replace it quickly. Like, no, we're here. We're staying on this path now, not that path. That's the goal. Nothing has to be perfect in the human world. It is what it is. And we accept that when we come. We just don't realise how hard it is. So, doing that is exhausting. Sometimes I don't always meditate, and I've talked this over with my guide because I feel like I'm letting them down. And that's part of a lack mindset, because to them, I'm doing amazing. I've done what generations past into centuries didn't get the chance to do, didn't have enough wisdom to do, didn't have enough know-how. Weren't me. That's the fact. They weren't me. So they're really, really pleased with me, and it's just me chucking that negative in. Well, you didn't meditate today, something bad's going to happen. No, it won't, because I'm protected, because I'm still on the right path. I haven't wavered. I've just got other things to do that I need to be on this with, and I haven't done that. And I'm excused. because they know how hard I'm working, and I'm working, and it's a dual world, because you know your spirituality is your inside bit, and your human bit is the outside bit, and you've got to get them to play well together. So I listen to my shadow side, and we work things out, because she's just reacting to protect me, and I need to say to her, yeah, but that's not happening now. Those things are not happening now. But I appreciate it. But we're going to do this. You come and join me here, because I don't need her to be on DEFCON 5 all the time. Because that's really tiring. What I need is for her to trust me. Now, she's never trusted me, because I'm the softer side. I'm the side that isn't watching out for all the even the twitch of something moving could be a red flag. And yeah, it's really tiring. I don't know if anybody else has these issues. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do when they're upgrading and they're trying to work it out and move away from. But you have to acknowledge it. And because if you don't, it will blindside you, because you haven't dealt with it, and they will keep sending you the same lesson over and over and over until you can unhook the emotion from it, so you can see it and deal with it. Now, I know, because of everything that's gone on in my life, I can handle a lot, and I can deal with a lot, and I have. At the moment, I feel I can switch my shadow self off and let her have a rest, because I'm sure she's on cortisol overload or adrenaline overload, or one of her adrenal glands must be knackered. So I want to give her a rest, but I also have to acknowledge that I'm tired, like bodily tired, because it takes it out of you astrally wandering, and I have to do it, because these are where all the lessons are, and all the lessons are split, you know, because so many things have happened to me personally, and they all need tying in, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, this week, for the first time in decades, I had a little break somewhere else. And it really, really helped, because it gave me enough. The first day when I was there, I was angry. I was angry and nitpicky. It's not warm enough. There's not enough bedding. There's no pavements. Dead of countryside. Roads, no pavements. There's no pavements. I could get splattered. I don't like crumpets for breakfast. I'm used to porridge. I was like, just go on. I'm going to give myself the first day so that all the negatives can come out, and then I can sort that back. So by the second day, I woke up and I felt really good, because at the end of the day, I piled the extra bedding that I brought with me to make sure that my dog didn't mark anything with muddy paws and hair, and then I brought 2 coats in case one got wet, and I piled them on, and I ended up really, really warm and snug in my little bed. And I went out exploring. Now, I can't walk very far, but I went all over. I travelled everywhere, because this spot that I picked It was very central, so I went everywhere. And by the second day and the third day, and I came back on the fourth day, a lot of the niggle that was going on in me, I think I've said I have an NFA. I call her an NFH, a neighbour from hell, and she's a very spiteful person, and she likes to think of spiteful things. The more I do well and the more I succeed, the crosser she gets. But I just have to keep outwitting her. But it sets up a niggle, and it's been a constant dripping tap of negativity about things. This isn't right, that isn't right. Not this is right and that's right, and look at all that you've done. No, this bit isn't right and that bit isn't right. And it's very, you know, tunnel vision. So by the second day and the third day, because the dreams were coming in and the connections were being made, and I've made different neural pathways with it, which I need to be on to make sure that I stay on. And I'm a lot more detached. So I'm looking at what's going right, and what's going right is all of a sudden I'm kind of back into my art, and I'm playing, because this is how I make art. I play, I create things. And people like them, and I haven't been doing it. I've been having a break because I've felt heavy energy, and I've been tired with all the work I've been doing, spiritually speaking. But it's culminated in a different sort of feeling for me, because when I finished that timeline, I started on my new timeline, and everything that's been going on. When I've got to that point where I've got to use my human self to generate forward momentum now, because I've got the astral knowledge, I've got the spiritual knowledge, and now I've got to move forward with it, with myself. I always feel lost and empty. I mean, and I am empty, but I'm only empty of the negative. You know, I'm waiting for my cup to be refilled with positive things that I put in there. And then because of that, I attract it to me. And it will come to me, and I don't have to look for it. And that won't happen until I've cleared my own foundational negativity, which I've been doing. And so life is changing again. But that I hate it. That horrible bit in the middle where you don't know what you're doing and you don't know what you're thinking, and you're having to hammer happy thoughts into your brain, you know, because there's another negative one and another negative one, and you're being triggered, and you don't want to react to the triggers. But it's worth it. It's worth it in the end. It is like when you strip a room down to its basics and you rebuild it out. It's a lot of mess, it's a lot of yuck. You find horrible things like dry rot, and it all has to be redone, and you think, why did I start this? But it's worth it in the end when you've done it, because when you've done it, you know you've achieved, not just for yourself, but for all of you into the future are all going to benefit from the knowledge that you're cramming in there of how to deal with life on earth. And on that note, I'm going to go, because it's 14:14 on the clock, and I'm sure that's some kind of magical number. Thank you.